Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at James Comey's statements pertaining to the Steele dossier, you get two outlandish, truly absurd statements. Number one, he stated numerous times to ABC News and others, Comey says he believes the source of the Steele dossier to be credible. This is an April 15, 2018 article, ABC News. The former FBI director details his early interactions with the dossier. This was before it was widely discredited and known by everybody to be complete nonsense. And this was before the Danchenko indictment, the second indictment of the Durham probe. He was one of the sources for the Steele dossier. He lied to the FBI, but also the dossier itself was complete fabricated nonsense purchased by Clinton and the DNC, which gets to the second absurd, nonsensical, overt lie from James Comey. I still don't know that for a fact. Comey on Clinton campaign for Trump dossier. This is The Hill. Former FBI Director James Comey asserted Thursday evening that he did not know beyond news reports that Hillary Clinton's campaign had paid for research that led to a dossier of unverified allegations. Okay, so he knew. Look, number one, how do you not know that? How do you not know, as the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that a dossier you're using was purchased by Trump's direct political rival, and a whole bunch of absurd claims aren't backed by any intelligence? So the Steele dossier is about Manafort, Flynn, Carter Page, Papadopoulos, and others meeting with intelligence officials. And this fantasy of Trump campaign officials working alongside foreign intel operatives. This was not corroborated, verified, or bolstered by any U.S. intelligence agency. So the fact that there was nobody in government, from James Clapper to John Brennan, stating that anything was accurate, should show that he knew it was complete nonsense. In addition to the fact that Michael Sussman and others, the indicted Clinton attorney, they worked for the law firm that Democrats and the Clinton campaign and the Biden campaign used. Okay, that law firm has a whole web page on its website about how close it is and how much it's helped President Mashed Potato Brains and his campaign. So I'm trying to kind of explain things in the simplest terms. I mean, we all know the whole thing was a setup. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. We're almost at 195,000. We're on our way to 200,000 subs, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very, very much for your support. Word of mouth is the best thing you could do. If you do want to support my work long term, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment, ladies and gentlemen. Hit subscribe to the Stock Market Crash channel below in the pinned comment, and read my article in The Federalist predicting the devastating stock market crash we've seen in slow motion and the one we're going to see. Unfortunately, that's in the pinned comment, my Federalist article. You could read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications on hagoodman.com. The Durham probe can investigate any government official who knowingly lied or utilized information against Trump for a political motive, or to just undermine his presidency, because if Comey wanted to harm Trump politically, that's enough for him to have broken 18 U.S. Code 371. And I write about that in The Federalist. And you could read that, just type in H.A. Goodman Federalist. I have about 4 or 5 articles that I've written on the Durham probe. Rush Limbaugh shared one of my articles on his radio show. One of the articles was talking about how everything is linked to Madam Secretary. And by the way, I always say this, I want a Clinton-Trump rematch. We have to have that. We have to have that. It actually would help the Durham probe in a way, but it would help the country. You might say, what are you talking about? You're talking about a Durham probe and a Clinton-Trump rematch? No. We've been through too much as a country. There are tens of millions of people who think that the Kremlin installed Trump and that 2016 was taken from them. There's not a shred of evidence that a Facebook ad swung anyone's vote. They lied through their teeth. The people who claim that Trump lies more than any other president have lied more than anyone in the history of American politics. They claimed every single day that Trump was installed by another country. We have to have a Clinton-Trump rematch. She'd be a million times better than mashed potato brains, but then again, anyone would. And obviously, I'd vote for Trump a million times over during that rematch. But we need to have that because we've been through too much as a country. That would address the nightmare we're still living through. That would finally put to bed the ongoing nightmare of 2016. We haven't moved past 2016. We are actually in this continual loop of 2016. We need a Clinton-Trump rematch to finally get us, to finally awaken this country from a nightmare that's never ended. Bernie Sanders being cheated, the DNC email showing that Democrats can't even have a functioning primary, yet they pontificate about democracy. We can go on forever. There must be a Clinton-Trump rematch, but here are two lies, overt lies. Comey says he believes the source of the Steele dossier to be credible. One of the sources was indicted. So he that couldn't be true. Okay, and then Comey on the Clinton campaign paying for the Trump dossier, he knew that one of the people who helped purchase it was an attorney for that Clinton-linked law firm. How he wouldn't know it was linked to Clinton is impossible. And now you get to, if some people might say, well, 18 U.S. Code 371, you can't prove anything. You can't prove that Comey knew. See, they hide behind plausible deniability. When it's completely obvious he's lying, they say, well, no, there's plausible deniability. Trump does not get that benefit of the doubt. He's convicted and indicted and sent to prison in the minds of Democrats just with the suspicion pertaining to his tax returns. But haven't even seen his tax returns yet. They hadn't even seen them. When they do, since February of 2021, they find nothing. So they've had him for a year, found nothing, but he was already guilty of something. Oh, he inflated his the worth of his real estate. Oh my God, he's guilty. So the walls are always closing in on Trump, but with James Comey, he could lie through his teeth. I mean, everybody knows he lied. The Durham probe, John Durham knows James Comey lied. The only thing with Comey is the following: he has the goods on the Clintons. He has the goods on President Obama's administration. He has the goods on that law firm. He has the goods on everyone. The law firm Sussman worked for, he has the goods on everybody. He's like that character from Game of Thrones who has the bald guy who has the goods on everyone. Give me even the name below of that guy. I forgot his name. So he could save himself from any indictment by turning on McCabe or Sussman or Baker, or anyone, okay? He could simply say, hey, look, I didn't order anyone to do anything. I said something to the effect of, do what you think is right. And then he could say things like, well, and then I realized people were, had direct links to the Clinton campaign, and then that's why he could say the same thing he said with, well, I didn't trust Attorney General Loretta Lynch. So I took over the matter. It's like there's a million things he could say to save himself from indictment, which would then collapse everyone else's chances of circumventing indictments. But those are two overt lies. One reason is because the Steele subsource was already indicted, so it couldn't have been credible. And two, everyone associated with the Steele dossier was linked to a Clinton-linked law firm and a law firm that worked for the Biden campaign. And through that, the Durham probe could also investigate the Biden campaign. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. You'll have another update on the Durham probe in a couple of hours. Hit subscribe.